ladies kicking assets. Robin and I are so thrilled that you're here with us, and we have a very special guest today, the king of referrals himself. He wrote the referral masterpiece, Raving Referrals, and is the CEO of HOA.com, the #1 referral network for home service professionals. He's a serial entrepreneur, coach, speaker, and now a guest on our show. And most importantly, he loves the Lord and gives all the glory to him. So, Brandon Barnum, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us and speak with our guests.
Yes. Oh, it's my absolute pleasure to be here, Courtney and Robin. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes. Well, I know I had the pleasure and honor of meeting you. Gosh, I think it's been 6 or 8 weeks. I'm not even sure how long it's been now, but I didn't know that I was going to get to meet you. And it just happened to be kind of a bonus for a trip that I had to Phoenix, and, hit it off. I got to come and join your mastermind group and meet yourself and Mark Victor Hansen and everybody else that was a special part of your group. And it was such a powerful weekend. And from there, I actually managed to pick up the Raving Referrals book, which which has been so powerful. And, as I have navigated through that space, I mean, obviously referrals is something that everybody needs in their businesses. It doesn't matter if you have a mechanic repair shop for your car, or if you're an entrepreneur, whatever that is, everybody needs referrals. And it's really funny because as I've kind of gone through this book, I feel like some of this should be just such common knowledge. I just kind of putting it all together and applying it why is that so hard?
Well, I'm so sorry. I just wanted to, I need to tell you this and then you jump in here. Please. I did that assessment in chapter 1.
The referral score quiz.
Yes, the referral score.
What'd you score?
A 36.5. I really did. And so that means that I have a gap of 73.5 and lots of things some areas were zeros and some areas were small numbers. And it was like, okay, the lens is off and I have some work, but I loved how you put that out there. And like Courtney was saying, that is applicable to any business. And so please jump in here and tell our listeners how they can do the same thing,
Absolutely. I'm so glad you did that, Robin, because you're absolutely right.
Embarrassed at myself.
It's eye-opening, and you shouldn't be ashamed. The reality is most people score under 50. And guys, if you're listening, what we're talking about is the referral score quiz. You can go to referralscorequiz.com, and it's a free assessment. It'll take you less than 2 minutes. And what you're going to do is you're going to score yourself 1 to 10 on the top 10 referral best practices. And there are some eye-openers because there's some things, like you said, Courtney, that we should know and that we do naturally. And some of those things you're going to score a 10, and others you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I've totally missed this. And I scored a 0. And that's where I started before I started getting mentored. So I love the quote from Ivan Meisner, the founder of BNI. He says, 98% of businesses rely on referrals, yet only 3% have a system for referrals. I think that's so true for most people.
Why do you think that is?
It's interesting because when it comes to referrals, we all get them naturally. Like it's just the way that we're wired as human beings. If we want help with somebody, we ask for help often. Sometimes we don't. And that's something we should talk about, is the power of asking for what you're wanting. And Courtney, I know you were with us at our mastermind. We spent the whole weekend talking about the power of asking for what you want, because that's when you get what you want. But I think the reality is, it just sort of happens. Nobody's ever taught us. There's no class in college on referrals. And so those of us that get into business, we kind of figure it out along the way, but there really hasn't been a system in place, which is why I wrote the book, Raving Referrals, and quite frankly, what we're doing at HOA.com.
I love that you just brought all of that up. That was going to be one of my questions is, okay, how do you get these referrals? And you're just saying just ask for them. And I have never done that myself. And it feels weird. I always feel weird asking for that kind of stuff. Does that seem normal, or am I weird?
Totally normal. Most people feel uncomfortable asking for referrals until they learn the art of the ask. And I think this is so important. So let's just spend 2 minutes and I'll walk you through the art of the ask. There's really 3 steps. Okay. So if you want to be more skilled at asking for referrals and feel confident and comfortable and have your people feel comfortable, then you do 3 things. Number 1, you set the stage. So when you first have a new client that comes on board, you want to set the stage. And what that looks like is saying, thank you so much for meeting with me. As you may know, most of my business comes from referrals, and I'd like to ask you a favor. I'm so committed to wowing you with my service. And at the end of the service, once I've shown you what a difference we make, would it be okay if I ask you for referrals at a later date? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And by doing that, you're setting the stage. You're not making them feel uncomfortable now because you're not asking right now, even though sometimes they're going to say, oh, I have a sister, an aunt, a brother, a husband, a cousin that needs your services right now. So you're going to get referrals just by setting the stage.
Mm-hmm.
But what you're really saying is, I'm committed to wowing you with our service, with our product, with what we do, because it's going to make a difference and you're going to be blown away. That's step 1, setting the stage. Step 2 is listening for the referral triggers. So now as you start to serve them, you want to keep your ears open. And as they start to say either thank you, wow, oh my gosh, this is so cool, this is so amazing, you've helped me make so much money, look so great, feel so great, whatever it is that you deliver with your service, once you hear that wow moment, that's step 2, listen for the referral triggers. Now you want to ASK to GET. And it sounds something like this. Courtney, I'm so glad to hear you feel that way. We love helping people like you get these results. And we'd love to help your friends, your family, your clients, your coworkers. So if you know other people that are facing this same challenge, we'd love to help them. And maybe you have a special offer depending on your business. You may say, we do free consultations, whatever that looks like, your new client attraction process. But when you set the stage, you listen for the referral triggers, and then you ASK to GET, you'll get more referrals. You'll feel comfortable. They'll feel comfortable because you're really serving them, not selling them.
Oh,
Absolutely.
And you're asking permission. You're asking them permission up in setting the stage. So you diffuse whatever they're, sitting
Well,
there.
here's the thing too, and all the people that have asked me for a referral, I've never balked at that. I've never had a problem in giving that. So it's kind of funny, these, weird little limiting beliefs that we have in our brains. I don't know where those come from. I've never had a bad experience with asking for a referral. So I don't know how that ever got set into my mind to be an odd thing to ask for,
Well, and the other thing that we teach is automating the ask, because people don't feel comfortable and confident. Now, when you use that art of the ask, you should, but also integrate that into your client life cycle, right? Into your invoices, your emails, all the communication that you send to your client. That way you can say, the greatest gift you can give us is a referral, and you don't even have to feel uncomfortable because it's just automatic.
That is so smart. So do you have like a system that you like to use to track that? Because I can tell you that I am really great about, going out and meeting people and building relationships. And then my follow-up is awful. It's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day, and I'm busy doing this and I'm working on this, and really building relationships is what I love doing. But I fail in that area, and I need to do better. And that is something that is on my goal list of things to be and do better at. So do you have a system?
Database? Yeah.
Yeah.
All of
Yeah.
your referrals.
The fortune is in the follow-up, right? We can go out there, we can go to networking events, conferences, meet amazing people, but unless we follow up and follow through, then that's like, acres of diamonds where it's under our feet, but we're not mining that. And so I didn't find a good system. I had to build my own. So that's what we have at HOA.com. We created our own CRM system called Engage that helps us follow up, and it's got pipelines and stages, and we just make sure to keep you top of mind. And Courtney, you saw this, but one of the things that we've actually built at HOA.com is an automated co-marketing engine to constantly keep you in front of the people that are in your database. Once you set it, you can forget it. Ours, because we serve professionals who serve homeowners, is all about the valuation of the home. We call it a home safe report. And once people set that up, it automatically goes to all your clients and customers and contacts, so that every month you're giving value to your people. And what's really cool about it is it's not only promoting you, it also promotes your referral partners, your trusted team. And as you promote them, they promote you. Everyone wins more business together.
Okay, well, that is amazing.
I love that a lot. Yes.
Yes. And this is a perfect segue to kind of pop right into this HOA.com, because I really wanted to talk to you about, what you were building and what your goals, what your mission, vision, and values, what that is. And so since I guess the how do you track all of this kind of moves right into that. And this seems like something that's very beneficial for, everybody either owns a home or lives in a home or has a home, and they need things regardless. So let's pop right into HOA.com.
All right, cool. Well, I didn't plan to come here and give a commercial, but let's talk about what we're doing. And
okay, we need to. Yes, this is great.
Absolutely. No, really what we're doing is we're building like Nextdoor meets Angie's List meets Zillow. So it's everything that the homeowner needs in one place. It all starts, and when you think of HOAs, most people think of homeowner association, and we're really building this to support the homeowner associations that are out there, because there's 370,000 HOAs. In fact, 53% of all homeowners in America live in an HOA. But if I ask you what's the number one brand that you think of when it comes to HOAs, what comes to mind?
I don't know of any HOA brands. I can't even, I'm trying to think of what mine is.
You just got it. So the number one answer we get when we ask that question is, I don't know.
No, I'm sitting here thinking about,
we get two answers. I don't know, and there isn't any, right? So we're on a mission to transform the way that communities get connected, because most homeowners don't love their HOA. They feel like it's the community cops when it should be the community connections. And so we're doing live events in the local HOAs and communities. And we basically create the platform and the event blueprints, and then empower local professionals who serve those homeowners to really connect and build deeper relationships with them. So we're creating online community pages for every neighborhood in America, and then we select top trusted 5-star pros that serve those homeowners so that they can win more business and really build deeper relationships with the communities that they serve.
Okay, that is amazing. I think as life has gone on, people used to know their neighbors. They used to be involved in so many things, and there's some few communities here and there that still do that. But I don't know any of my neighbors, and I love that. Gosh, when you do bring people together in, in different events and opportunities, people I think are hungry for community and knowing people again and looking for that.
Well, and they're hungry for people that they can trust. When you you open up your home, the sanctity of your home, and you've got different tradespeople in and out of your home, you hear constantly, about theft and robbery, or people coming back, quality of work. I'm sitting here thinking about my neighborhood. I live in a very tiny old neighborhood here in the Houston area, and everybody knows everybody. In fact, they send out emails about the suspicious car driving through the neighborhood, and somebody's going door to door and shouldn't. And so they all use that Nextdoor .com or whatever, and you get a bunch of unnecessary messages from neighborhoods around you and stuff. So I think about my own little neighborhood here, where I've got folks who are in their 80s, new families. There's this spectrum, of people needing something that's affordable, quality of work, dependability, that are vetted. And so I love the concept. I think it can work in all kinds of different environments, you know.
Well, it's funny that you just mentioned the looking up. So I'd love to get the inside of my house painted. We had the inside painted a couple years ago, and I cannot for the life of me remember the name of the painter that we used. And so I'm going to have to spend the next 5 years going through my bank statement so I can figure out what month we did that and what that name was, so I can try to go back through my text messages and figure out what their name was, because I cannot remember.
Right.
Isn't that funny? And we see that all the time. The reality is it shouldn't be Angie's list. It should be Courtney's list. You should have one place where all of your trusted pros are in an app. And quite frankly, that's what we're building here at HOA.com. So that not only do you have your trusted team of the pros that you work with on an ongoing basis, but let's say, Courtney, you want to get your house painted and you don't have a painter that you trust. What if you could look at your neighbors and your neighborhood and go, okay, out of the 100 homes here, 27 have used Paul's painting and they love Paul, and my neighbor Janet's used him, so let me talk to Janet and see how Paul did for Janet. That doesn't exist. And just like you're saying, we hear that all the time. Painters they come, they paint your house, and then they go in ghost mode. You never hear from them again. You want to talk about follow-up failure? The blue-collar tradespeople are horrible about following up. So that's why we're helping automate the process so they stay top of mind with their clients too.
Mm-hmm.
That's
really is great. Very beneficial.
It really is. Wow. It really is. And not only that, but it just makes everything so much more convenient and so much easier. I am all about convenience and ease, just like everybody else.
I'm hoping you have pull service on there.
Oh yeah. And we partnered with
except I have a great guy. I have a great guy.
For pull service? Okay.
For pull service over the last couple of years, yes. But before that, it was like they would come and never come back, and it's like, oh my gosh, that would be such a niche to, have somebody jump in and manage pull.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so you said, okay, so Engage is, I guess, the program that y'all created to kind of help manage and maintain all of this, and that, for the whole, automated referral part, and that has become, I guess, a part of the HOA.com platform.
For the pros, yeah, we have our own portal.
Okay.
So we've created this back-end technology system for the professionals so that they can stay top of mind with all their clients. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And so then one of the other things that we did, we started talking about events and then we moved on, which is cool. But I want to talk about that just for a second, because we talked about knowing your neighbors. Courtney, you mentioned you don't know your neighbors. And one of the things that I tell my team all the time, people are going to fall in love with HOA.com, not only because of the service that we provide, but also because the events that we facilitate. So we do things like, we just had an ice cream social in a couple communities close to me, and I got to see the photos, and it was so cool because all these families came out and they just got to know each other. We had a barbecue recently in one of the communities around my home, so I got to go see that. There were about 50 people there. Kids were playing basketball, cornhole. They even had a kickball game. And the coolest thing was, at one point I looked around, and of the 50 people, not one person was on their cell phone. Everyone was just talking to their neighbors, which was the way it should be.
Yeah. All right.
I love that. I was just sitting here thinking, why can't I host a neighborhood party and get to know some of my neighbors? That would be so much fun.
Well, you can.
Well, you can. So we're creating what we call community connectors. We're looking for people that want to do this in their local neighborhoods. And so they literally sign up. We give them turnkey events. Everything is detailed out as far as how it works and what you need to do. So you've got a plan and a blueprint. And then you go to your HOA and you said, hey guys, we're going to do this on Saturday, the 27th, or whatever the date is. And then you just bring everybody together. And there's nothing better than living in a connected community, especially if you have got kids.
Yeah, oh, definitely. And seniors,
Yes.
I would just say, you've kind of got those two ends of the spectrum there with the family, the generational spread,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So.
Absolutely. Gosh, well, I don't know what the temperature is like in Arizona right now, but it feels like it's about 1,000,000 degrees out. But I tell you what, I'm gonna watch that and I'm gonna pick something and chat with a few people. I'm gonna go do that. I am. I'm gonna put together a little neighborhood deal. We're gonna play cornhole and barbecue.
You should. So I have a question for you.
Please, brother.
The CRM that you've developed, is this something that could be rolled out to other businesses like real estate syndicators and such? Because, you know, we all have this platform, different platforms that everyone uses for different reasons to keep up with their database, send out newsletters, put information in about the intrinsic needs of the individual. So do you have future plans for that, or no?
We're we're not planning on licensing it outside of what we're doing at HOA.com, but real estate investors typically are homeowners. So you're part of the family, Robin. Quite frankly, this applies to what you're doing. Most professionals that serve homeowners can find an application for what we're doing, because ultimately, even if they serve business owners, those business owners are homeowners.
Yes.
So our platform really works for just about anybody.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. I love that. And so how long have you been working on that? And you said it's going to be not so much that, but the HOA.com, you'll be rolling that out on an app that will be user friendly for phones. Has that already?
We haven't built out the mobile app yet. That's something actually I was just talking to we brought a new CTO on, Courtney. You haven't met him yet, but he just came on board the last 2 weeks. And so we're building out the mobile app. Right now it's just a web app. But yeah, absolutely. It's there, like the home. You can go to homesafe.hoa.com right now, and you can plug in any address you want and see your home valuation report. And it will include a list of home service professionals that service your area that are top rated. So that's all built and out there. We're about 90 days away. We're still in kind of pre-launch mode. We're about 90 days away from taking this out into every neighborhood in America. We're working on some massive partnerships with some major national companies, and excited about what the future holds. So right now we've been in pilot mode and piloting this out, especially in Phoenix and in Denver, and then other markets. It's really starting to spread.
So the last quarter of the year is going to be huge.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's already a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
It's already,
Love
yeah,
that.
it's a ton of fun.
Love that. Well, our time is somewhat nearing where we want to make sure we honor our guests, but there were a couple of other areas that Courtney and I wanted to make sure we had just touched on with you. I know you're a man of God, you're married, you've got a family, and your family is somewhat involved in your business. And what's that like, working with adult kids?
Yeah, so my 30-year-old son, Sebastian, works for us full time, and it's amazing. I was just talking to him yesterday. My wife and I just went to Europe for almost 2 weeks to celebrate her 50th birthday, and we got to see our 20-year-old daughter, Ella, who's over in Spain studying Spanish in Madrid. And so it was like, I got to have that experience and then come back and connect with my 30-year-old son. And, there's nothing better. I once started a company with my mom, and that experience as a child working with your parent on a business is super cool. But I think it's even more enriching when you're a parent working with your child, because I just hear amazing reports from my team all the time about my son. And it just makes me such a proud papa to see, the difference that he's making. And he's committed because, part of it is he just wants to do a good job, and he doesn't like to be identified as the son of the CEO.
Right.
But I keep telling him, I say, listen, I've got 3 kids, and all this that we're creating, you're going to benefit from. So, he's got a motivation beyond just the paycheck.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That is a hard place for our adult kids to be in when you've got a generational business, because they have to really prove themselves at even a higher level to gain the respect of their peers. And when they step into that, and it's you're not managing them, it's a beautiful thing to hear others recognize that, unsolicited, they'll tell you. And so that is one of the greatest things that we can do is that mentorship. And I know Courtney does that with her adult kids, and Brett and I do the same thing with our kids. And I really, it's powerful. It's powerful, that impact.
It's so fun and rewarding. And I don't manage him. He's got other managers that he reports to, but I love to just touch base with him. And oftentimes I just have to make sure that I keep it personal and not professional all the time, because it's so easy to talk about business 24/7.
Right.
I know. And so oftentimes we find ourselves, when we're all together as a family, we'll say, we're not going to discuss business at all. And if one of you catches us kind of rambling down that track, because it's just natural, we're going to ask you to tell us to stop, you know.
There you go. You create a code word, right?
Yeah. Or safe word.
Safe word. There you go.
Sometimes it's hard.
It is hard.
We use a term called redirect, right? So we have if we start to go off our agenda, we say, okay, well, just to redirect us back. And that's a code word internally that tells the whole team, okay, we're going back to what's critical.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Love it. Love it. Well, I appreciate you so much coming on and sharing. Like I said when we started, referrals and asking for referrals, and the art of the ask, that's something that impacts everybody. I love that you are building a platform that can help everybody connect and do that. So I absolutely think that everybody needs to run out and buy your book, Raving Referrals. First of all, go out and get this, because it is amazing. There's so much gold and so many amazing nuggets in here. So can you share how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah, well, obviously you can pick up the book at Amazon or at ravingreferrals.com. There's also an online course. So if you want some training beyond the book, if you don't want to read and you just want to watch, I've literally created this course where every single module is between 1 and 4 minutes. So it's totally bite-sized. You can have your morning cup of coffee, listen to one golden nugget to start your day, and go through it over time. But you can connect with me at brandonbarnum.com. That's got all my links and my calendar appointment link as well. So all my data there is at brandonbarnum.com.
Perfect.
Wonderful.
Okay. And where was the little nuggets that you were just talking about? Is that it? Right? Is that at Brandon Barnum?
Ravingreferrals.com.
Oh, ravingreferrals.com. Got it. You might have said that and I might have missed it. Perfect.
All good. Yeah, that's the Raving Referrals course. So there's an online course with videos, and it really goes hand in hand with the book. And I often teach, like I'm actually coming down to Dallas, Courtney, in September. I'm teaching, the second book is Raving Referrals for Dentists. So I'm teaching Raving Referrals to a group of dentists in September 8th, I think. So
okay.
Join.
Perfect. Well, yes, I do remember you bringing that up. So we will definitely connect while you are here.
Yes.
Sounds good. Look forward to it.
So, all right.
There's just so much here. I mean, we could talk so much about so many other facets here, but I just, like Courtney, just want to thank you for your time and just the pearls of wisdom that you've shed in all the various aspects of your life, your walk, HOA.com. And, the one last thing I do want to make sure we mention and didn't, and I'm going to take 20 seconds to ask you to go over this. We discussed it before we got on the call, is you have another project that you're working on with your Christian Business Alliance.
Getting ready to launch the Christian Business Alliance. By the time this is recorded and produced, the website will be live, but it's thecba.org, thecba.org. And the Christian Business Alliance really is going to be like a Christian BNI, a Christian Chamber of Commerce. What we find is that what's really fascinating, quite frankly, is that in the Muslim community, a dollar gets circulated 14 to 16 times within that community. And within the Jewish community, it's 10 to 12 times. But within the Christian community, it's 0 to 1 time, meaning that Christians aren't doing more business with each other. So we're on a mission to change that. We're on a mission to really fund missions and missionaries, and then also help business owners feel connected and supported with each other. Because oftentimes, like when I go to church, there's no small groups for business owners, and that's a gap that we plan to solve.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
That's amazing.
Such impact. I can't wait to hear more and learn more about that. Well, our time is
yeah, I know. And that sparks a whole other like realm of discussion points. I know we don't have time for it, but you know what? We'll do this again.
Yes. Brandon, thank you so much for your time. You've shared with us our listeners can get in touch with you at brandonbarnum.com. They can also reference your book at ravingreferrals.com. And you can always look us up, ladies.
Check out HOA.com.
Check out HOA.com. There's so many .coms to look at here with what we've talked about, but there's so much information, and just thank you so much. And I look forward to all the inquiries that are going to come your way from our listeners and interest. So thank you again so much for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you, ladies, for what you're doing and for helping ladies kick assets. I love that.
Somebody's got to.
And it's so important. And one last thing, if I can, is as you're building your wealth, make sure that you're not only just creating income, but it's impact, right? Make a difference with the money that you make. And so we're passionate about helping people be charity champions. Integrate that into your business. One of the things that I love in the book is the chapter about being a charity champion and really integrating cause-related marketing into everything that you do. So don't keep that quiet. Tell that story of the charities, the causes that you're supporting with your company. And what's interesting is 93% of consumers want to know the impact that you're making with your business. So don't keep that a secret. Share what you're doing. Invite your clients, your customers, your contractors, or your employees out to make a difference. And what you'll see is your business will grow even faster because people will fall in love with the impact that you make.
Yes, I love that. Okay, impact is one of the things that I have on my goal list is, making an impact. And, I'm always asking God, who am I serving today? Who am I serving and how am I helping? So.
Amen. What a great way to end. Thank you, ladies. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much.